You know, man. What have this shit come down to in the world today? You know what I mean? It's I can't believe people play with people intelligence the way they play with people intelligence and intellect. You know, the way they do today. You know, people are telling lies for a living. You know what I mean? They actually lying to y'all for a living, but as you can see, you know what I mean, live in a living color. This is what my jail cell look like. You know what I mean?
It would have been right on point with this.
Hey, we can always redo it. Bring it back and we'll redo it.
Okay. All right.
But anyway, well, congratulations.
Thanks.
May I offer you some champagne?
No,
Any sparkling waters? Okay. David, whenever you're ready.
I got one thing for you.
right.
And I'll walk you up here to the front.
Wow, you might have got me a birthday gift.
Oh yeah, it's a pretty good one too.
Nice orange on it.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Here,
first,
orange and
nice
black is
birthday. Got the bow on it. Pretty good. Let's see what it looks like.
Ready?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. Hey.
Yeah, that's
The real trick or treat going on today. Yeah. Man, this is like a real Halloween. You know what I mean? Turned out pretty nice.
Is that your birthday?
Oh, love it.
That's a beauty, right?
Thanks.
Now you're part of the Spectre family.
Yeah, first time driving it at night, all those stars
Yeah.
on the doors, like the ceiling, everything. There's nothing really like it out there.
I'm just wondering.
All right. I've only ever seen them in the left, so I don't know. You the first one and
Well, thanks a lot.
Enjoy the new car. I think it adds some contrast, you know? I mean, but it's your call.
Yeah.
I think it's a beautiful car. We can't go wrong.
Yeah.
This wasn't just another situation that got out of control. It didn't start with random tension, and it definitely didn't end with just one person getting hurt. This whole thing traces back to a chain of moments, a robbery, a public message, a misunderstanding that turned into something deeper, and eventually, something a lot more serious. Because when you're talking about J. Prince and NBA YoungBoy, you're not just talking about music anymore, you're talking about power. And once that gets involved, things don't stay simple. Most people hear J. Prince's name and think industry figure, but that doesn't even begin to explain it. He's the man behind Rap-A-Lot Records, a label that helped shape the entire southern rap scene before it was even respected nationwide. Back when Houston wasn't taken seriously, he was already building something that would last decades. But what really separates him isn't just music, it's influence. There have been moments in hip-hop where situations were getting out of hand, and somehow, J. Prince stepped in and made things quiet down. Not publicly, not loudly, just handled. That kind of reputation doesn't come from social media. It comes from years of relationships, power, and knowing how to move in spaces most people don't even see. And in a city like Houston, that matters a lot. But here's the problem. That kind of authority only works if the other person recognizes it. And NBA YoungBoy, he's not built like that. NBA YoungBoy didn't come up asking for permission. He built his entire career without needing the industry to validate him, no major label push, no radio dependency, just consistency, and a fan base that rides for him no matter what. And that's what makes him different. Because while most artists move carefully around power structures, NBA YoungBoy moves on his own terms. If he feels disrespected, he responds. If something doesn't sit right with him, he doesn't ignore it. He addresses it directly or indirectly. And that mindset? It's exactly what turned a situation that could have been resolved quietly into something much bigger. Back in 2020, NBA YoungBoy was in Houston. And that's where things took a turn. He got robbed, jewelry gone. Now, in any situation, that's serious. But in someone else's city, it raises questions. Because Houston isn't just any city. It's a place where certain things don't usually happen without somebody knowing. And that's where the whispers started. Not necessarily blaming anyone, but wondering how something like that even happened. Then came the twist nobody expected. Jay Prince stepped in and got the items back, just like that. Which should have ended everything. But instead, that's where things really started. Instead of handling it privately, Jay Prince went public. He let it be known. He had the jewelry, told NBA YoungBoy to reach out and come get it. Now from the outside, that looks like help. But from NBA YoungBoy's perspective, it felt different. Because in situations like this, how something is done matters just as much as what's done. Making it public changes the optics. Now it looks like one person is stepping in to fix another person's problem. And in certain environments, that creates a power dynamic. One that NBA YoungBoy wasn't willing to accept. So instead of responding, he stayed silent. And in this kind of situation, silence says everything. Because silence isn't neutral here. It gets interpreted, it gets analyzed. People start asking questions. Why didn't he respond? Why didn't he acknowledge it? Was that intentional? From that moment on, things were never the same. No public thank you, no acknowledgement, just distance. And sometimes, distance speaks louder than words ever could. Behind the scenes, tension started building. Not loud at first, not obvious, but steady. Then the narrative started forming. The phrase clout chasing began circulating. Quietly at first, then louder as more people picked sides. The idea that this wasn't just help, but positioning. That it was less about doing a favor and more about being seen doing it. Whether that's true or not almost doesn't matter anymore. Because once that belief sets in, it sticks. And with someone like YoungBoy, once he locks into a perception about someone's intentions, it rarely changes. He doesn't move back and forth on those kinds of decisions. He moves forward with them. So now you've got two sides, both standing firm. No one reaching out, no one clearing it up, no one backing down. And that silence between them, it creates space for speculation, for assumptions, for things to grow bigger than they originally were. No resolution, no communication, just growing tension. And the longer that tension sits unresolved, the more unpredictable what comes next becomes. And then, things escalated. That's where Ben 10 comes in, someone closely connected to NBA YoungBoy's circle. Not just a random name, someone who's been around, someone tied into his day-to-day world. And then the news breaks. He gets shot. At first glance, it looks like another isolated situation. The kind of headline people scroll past because, unfortunately, stories like that happen too often. But this one didn't sit right. Because once people started connecting timelines, a different picture started forming. Details began surfacing about a situation involving Jay Prince's son. Not directly in the spotlight, but close enough to raise serious questions. There were talks about a setup, a fight being arranged, and not just with anyone, someone from YoungBoy's side, even his own family being pulled into it. Now think about that for a second. A situation gets organized. Tensions are already there. emotions already high. And after that, shots fired. That's when everything shifts. Because now, this isn't just industry politics. It's not about social media narratives or who said what first. This becomes personal. Because when people close to you start getting hurt, it hits different. It's no longer something you can brush off or ignore. It demands a reaction, one way or another. And that's what makes moments like this so critical. At this point, it's not even about the original situation anymore. It's about what it turned into. You've got Jay Prince, representing long-standing influence, deep connections, and a system that's been in place for decades. And you've got NBA YoungBoy, representing independence, loyalty, and raw support from the ground up. Two completely different kinds of power, one built over decades, the other built in real time, through millions of people watching, listening, and reacting instantly. And neither one is easy to challenge. That's what makes this so dangerous. Because neither side can just walk away without it meaning something. Not at this level, not with reputations like this. One move gets interpreted as weakness, the other as disrespect. And once those labels get attached, they don't come off easily. And that's where things stand now. Unresolved, tense, and still active in the background. Because situations like this don't just fade out quietly. They sit there, they build. Every new post, every lyric, every small move gets analyzed and added to the bigger picture. There's pride involved, reputation, legacy, and now, real consequences. Someone already got hurt, and that alone changes the weight of everything. It's no longer just talk or speculation. It's something people can't ignore. And history shows, when things reach this level, they don't naturally cool off. They either get handled behind the scenes by the right people, or they keep escalating until something forces a stop. That's the uncomfortable part, because escalation doesn't always come with warnings. Sometimes it just happens. So now the real question isn't even about who was right or wrong at the start. It's about who's willing to step back first, and whether stepping back is even an option anymore. It's about what happens next. Does someone step in and stop it? Or does it keep building until something bigger happens? Because if one thing is clear, what started as a simple situation turned into something neither side can ignore anymore. And depending on what happens next, this story might be far from over. Because situations like this don't just end overnight. They either get resolved behind closed doors, or they keep unfolding in ways nobody can predict. And if history has shown us anything, it's that when pride, power, and real-life consequences collide like this, things rarely go quiet on their own. So now all eyes are on what comes next. Does someone step in and calm things down? Or does this continue to escalate into something even bigger? We're going to be watching it closely. If you want more breakdowns like this, real stories, real timelines, and everything happening behind the scenes, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Because trust me, this isn't the last time we're talking about this.